Look around today and it feels like the economic engine is stalling. Inflation is eating paychecks, jobs feel scarce, and there's a creeping consensus that building wealth requires either a massive trust fund or a winning lottery ticket. Everything just stops. But if you want to see a real economic freeze, look at the 1930s. During the Great Depression, global markets collapsed. Look at this endless line. These are men standing for hours just for a loaf of bread, their postures heavy with the reality that survival itself was suddenly in question. Compare our modern tough job market to this. You could stand under an employment agency sign all week alongside hundreds of desperate people, and there was simply not a single job to be had. The well was dry. Yet right in the middle of this collapse, a man named F.C. Minaker published a book titled 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000. He didn't write it for Wall Street bankers. He wrote it to show that even when the macro economy is in ruins, thousands of micro opportunities are sitting right in front of you. Minaker's premise was that making money is a craft, not a lottery. It follows a logic that most people ignore. If you're struggling to get ahead, he argued it's because you're likely following a blueprint that was designed to fail. The most common mental block is the belief that starting a business requires a stroke of genius. We assume you need to lock yourself in a lab and invent the next groundbreaking technology. Minaker argued the opposite. You don't need to invent. You just need to pay attention. Wherever people are frustrated, confused, or wasting time, there is a problem. And where there is a problem, there is someone willing to pay to have it fixed. Take the origin of the ticketing platform Redbus. In 2005, Phanindra Sama couldn't get a bus ticket home for Diwali. Instead of just complaining about the broken offline booking system, he mapped it out and put it online. He found a way to monetize a universal frustration. Once you spot a problem, the instinct is to spend 6 months secretly building the solution, pouring money into a product, and then throwing a launch party to see if anyone actually buys it. This diagram shows why that approach fails. The top path, build, launch, and then search, almost always hits a dead end. The bottom path flips the equation. Ask first, secure a yes, and only then build. You wait for the market to give you the green light before you spend a dime. If you want to start a daily lunch delivery service, do not buy a commercial kitchen setup yet. Instead, send 10 simple text messages to your neighbors asking if they'd pay for homemade meals delivered tomorrow. If 5 people say yes, you have a business. Now you can go cook. The vast majority of failed ventures don't die because the founder didn't work hard enough. They die because the founder became efficient at building something nobody ever asked for. Once you know how to build a service, you have to decide how to charge for it. Most of us are conditioned to trade 1 hour of labor for 1 hour of pay. But as this graph shows, plotting income directly against time creates a mathematical trap. You can increase your hourly rate, but eventually you hit the hard limit of a 24-hour day. Your earning potential is capped by your need to sleep. To break that ceiling, you have to package what you know. Whether it's accounting, video editing, or organizing spreadsheets, you stop charging for your presence and start charging for the result. When you sell solutions instead of hours, you decouple your income from the clock. Now you have a scalable offer. The next mistake is treating every sale as a one-off event, forcing you onto a treadmill where you have to hunt down fresh leads every single month just to survive. Manicocker emphasized that finding a brand new buyer takes an immense amount of marketing and trust building. But convincing someone who has already paid you and who already trusts your work to buy from you again requires a fraction of that energy. Think about a house painter. An average painter finishes a job, takes the check, and leaves. A smart painter calls that exact same client 6 months later to offer a post-monsoon touch-up. It costs nothing to make that call, and it secures reliable, repaid income. True financial leverage is the natural result of disconnecting your earning potential from the hours in a day and maximizing the value of every single person you do business with. There is one final rule that dictates whether any of this works. If your primary focus is figuring out how to extract money from people's pockets, you will struggle. That desperation pushes clients away. The alternative is focusing on making someone else's life easier. An average video editor cuts the footage as asked. An essential video editor cuts the footage, identifies where the pacing drags, and offers a better thumbnail concept to improve clicks. One is a replaceable cost, the other is a valuable asset. It is easy to feel paralyzed by your own small beginnings, but you have to remember that McDonald's didn't start as a global real estate empire. It began as a single roadside burger stall. The scale of the vision matters, but the size of the first step does not. Current headlines would have you believe that opportunity has dried up, but looking back at the 1930s reminds us that wealth is generated through action. The ideas are already there. They just need someone to pick them up. Waiting for the perfect economy or the perfect moment of inspiration is a trap. You already know enough to begin. Your only required next step is to find one specific problem for one specific person and fix it today.